Asante Sana Warden. Asante Sana means thank you. Something else we say here in the stories is Twende. And Twende does mean let's go! Jumbo, everybody, my name is Joe, and I will be your safari guide for the next 2 long weeks. But don't even worry about it. It'll feel like about 20 minutes by the time we're done with it. Now, just a few more reminders. Please make sure to keep your hands, arms, legs, and feet inside the safari, and please remain seated throughout the entire safari. You got a no standing safari today. Now, if you look above you, you'll see an animal spotting guide. If you see an animal that I happen to not see, try to name it, and I'll try to name a few facts about it, but I give you absolutely 0 guarantees. Our first stop here on the safari is the Little Ituri Forest, which is home to some safari guides' favorite animals. I always ask, how can your favorite animal be the first one that you see? Seems like kind of a cop-out, if you ask me. They've never given me a straight answer. Hope I find out soon. But if you all look over to our right up there, behind that bush up there, we can actually see my personal favorite animal, the okapi. Now, the okapi might look like it should be related to a zebra, due to black and white stripes on its legs, but actually, it's more closely related to a giraffe. Now, over here on our left, we're actually going to see some bongo. Now, both the male and female bongo have those horns that you can see. Those horns help them move through the forest without getting stuck on any hanging leaves or shrubbery. They're also the largest antelope that we have here in the Little Ituri Forest. Now, if you plan on taking photos during the safari, I recommend putting your phone into sport or live mode, because unfortunately, no matter how much I wish I could, I cannot stop for every single animal. If you do see an animal you want me to stop for, pick your hand up. I'll put my hand up, and then we will wave goodbye to that animal together, because like I say here on the safaris, we are all in this together, except for the fact that I have a seatbelt and you do not. I'm sure you won't need it. Oh, look over here on our left, we have a saddle-billed stork. Now, the saddle-billed stork gets its name due to the yellow saddle shape on its bill. It stands about 5 feet tall, which is almost as tall as me, but not quite. If we stood next to each other, I would still win. Not that it's a competition or anything, obviously. Now, we got pretty lucky with seeing that okapi back there. The okapi is known as the unicorn of the forest, because up until it was fully discovered about 100 years ago, they were thought of to be mythological. We just didn't have enough proof to prove that they, well, actually existed. Over here on our left, up on this hill, we're actually going to see some greater kudu. Now, the way to tell greater kudu apart is that the males have horns and females do not. These 3 are lovely ladies up there. Those have big white stripes on their backs. Those white stripes actually help them hide from predators in the hanging brush of the forest. Take out the hanging brush, the sun reflects off of them and confuses their predators. We are now heading on into the Safi River. Now, the Safi River is home to quite a few water animals. Now, I know what you're thinking. Water animals in the river. Are you bonkers? Yes, but they gave me a truck anyways. Some of these water animals do like to hide, so hopefully we'll see quite a few cool ones here for you today. Like over on our right, we're going to see some pink-backed pelicans. Now, pink-backed pelicans get their name due to during mating season, their feathers thin out, and you can see their natural color, which is, as you might have guessed, yellow. No, I'm just kidding, they're naturally pink. They also have a wingspan of about 9 feet, which if you look above us is the same width as the top of this truck. You can also see some blackbirds out here. These are Florida vultures. They traveled quite a ways to meet us here in Africa today. See if we can find some more animals here today. Now, when those pink-backed pelicans go to get food, they'll actually stick their heads into the water upside down. Helps them to grab as much of that food as possible. If we look over on our left, we're going to see some Nile crocodile. Now, we sometimes see Nile crocodiles sit with their mouths wide open. The reason they sit with their mouths wide open is because that's one of the ways they have cooling themselves off. They can cool themselves off about 15 degrees Fahrenheit by sitting with their mouths wide open. They also grow to be about 18 to 20 feet in length, and they have jaws that are strong enough to crush bone. Now, though their jaws are indeed strong enough to crush bone, they're actually widely known as one of the best parents here on Animal Kingdom. They will roll their eggs around in their mouths and even poke a hole in that egg that helps those eggs to hatch. Now, those are only 2 of the ways that they are known as the best parents here in Animal Kingdom. Now, here on the safaris and here on the reserve, we are no stranger to beautiful trees. I mean, look at all this gorgeous nature all around us. But this tree that I'm about to point out actually holds a special place in my heart, and it probably will in yours too, mostly because it's the only tree I'm going to point out here today. If we look over to our right, we're going to see the baobab tree. Now, the baobab tree is known by its nickname, the upside-down tree, because its branches look like roots. It's also leafless about 9 months of the year. You can actually see some holes in it. Those holes come from animals coming up, taking bites out of that tree. They take bites because that tree contains a good amount of water, so it's how some of those animals stay hydrated in those hot summer months. We are now heading on into the West Savannah. Now, on this overlook, we might be able to see quite a few fan favorite animals. Now I call them fan favorite animals because they are the animals that get shouted, whistled, or kissed at the most. Please don't make any noise at these animals. These are real animals. This is really their home and we are really just visiting them. So we're going to try to be as respectful as possible while we're out here on the reserve today. I mean, how would you like it if someone came to your house and started screaming at you? I know, I wouldn't like it very much. It looks like most of these animals are hanging out towards the back of West Savannah, but that's alright. We'll make it back there eventually. There's absolutely nothing to worry about. If you look over here on our left, we're actually going to see a spotted hyena. Now, hyenas are a female-led colony, so the lowest ranking female is actually higher than the highest ranking male, even if that female was just born. Hyenas also make about 11 different noises, so you never really know what noise you're going to hear them make next. One of my friends swears they heard the hyena laughing once. I don't believe them. I've never heard the hyena make a sound, ever. Now let's see if we can find some more animals here in West End. I can already see quite a few coming up towards the back. Now we're going to see some funky looking structures coming up on our right and left. These are called termite mounds. They're made of 3 key ingredients, that is saliva, dirt, and dung. Now animals will actually come up to these termite mounds, rub their backs up against them, helps them to kind of scratch and itch their backs. Now if we look over on our left, we're going to see quite a few new animals. We're going to see some Herman's mountain zebras, some, what else is up there? Wildebeest. Can't see. Now I can actually tell that these are Herman's mountain zebras because they're semi solid white color, as opposed to being striped all the way down. Let's see if we can get a better view. Now these zebras actually have their own stripe pattern, and within 5 minutes of being born, these zebras can actually imprint on their mothers, memorize that stripe pattern, so they will never feed from another zebra, just their mothers. You can also see some Maasai giraffe and some Ankole cattle over here on our left. They'll be coming up on our right. You should be able to get a view of everything. Wildebeest travel in a pack of about 1.5 million. They actually stay in that pack for about 500 to 1,000 miles. Actually makes them the largest herding animals. Maasai giraffes stand about 18 to 20 feet tall, and their tongues actually match that height. So say they're 18 feet tall, their tongues will be about 18 inches long. They actually have their each individual spot pattern, so no two will have the exact same spot in the exact same place, or as I like to say, no two will have the exact same spot in the exact same spot. Now a group of Maasai giraffe is actually known as a tower. Sometimes we see them standing out in the middle of the road. We actually call that a tower of terror. We're going to get one right up here next to us on our left as well. Now Maasai giraffe actually have the same amount of vertebrae as a human being. Theirs is just spread out just a little bit more than us. Look over here on our right, we're going to see some more of those wildebeest. Now it looks like we are heading out of the West Savannah real quick, heading on into elephant territory. Hopefully we will see an elephant. They have been playing a very intense game of hide and seek recently that they have been winning and I have been, well, losing. Hopefully I'll level the playing field right about here. Our current scores are 27 to 2. Hopefully I'll catch up. If you see one that I don't see, let me know. If we don't see any in this first yard, there's a whole second yard that we might just see some at. So hopefully I'll get up a point in our little game of hide and seek here. There might not be any in this first yard. There's a whole little second viewing area where I might be able to see a little bit more. Hopefully we'll see one, but again, there's a whole second yard where I might just see some of these elephants. Looks like they are hiding from us. Maybe not in the second yard. Now these elephants actually are not fans of the sounds that bees make, so if they hear that sound, they'll tend to stay away from that particular area. Very helpful to African farmers who built a thing called a hive fence where they put beehives on the corners of their fence to keep the elephants from trampling their crops. Now it's also very helpful to the farmers and the bees alike. The bees, because then they have a safe place to live, and the farmers, because then they can actually turn around and sell that honey that those bees made. This was called the Elephants and Bees Project. And when we reach the end of the safari, so further up ahead, we're actually going to see one of these beehives I'll point out for you so you don't miss it. Just keep in mind the Elephants and Bees project, because that's what I'll use to kind of jog your memory about what we were talking about when we do reach the end of the safari. Till then, it looks like we're about to hit some red clay pits all around us. Now, if you look up here on our right, we're actually going to see some clay pits. Now, we're going to see some tusk marks in these clay pits. That comes from elephants coming up, doing their tusks in there, take bites out of this clay. They take bites because this clay contains very vital vitamins and minerals for these elephants. Now, hopefully we'll see some elephants over here on our left as we move back into the West Savannah. Careful, they could be hiding behind any of these tiny rocks that we see. I'm not seeing any, unfortunately. Looks like we're not going to see any elephants here today. Who knows, there might be some up ahead. Now, there's a way to tell if you're looking at an African elephant or not. The way to tell is actually by looking at their ears. The African elephant's ears are in the shape of Africa. So if we do see one, look at that ear shape and you should be able to tell if you're looking at an African elephant or not. Look over here on our right, we're going to see quite a few of those animals again. We can actually see an eland right back there, in the very back. Now both the male and female eland have horns, you can't really tell. The way to tell them apart is that the male's horns are slightly bigger and have slightly less spirals than the females. No, maybe we'll get a better view as we keep moving forwards. Now I know I should mention this sooner, but this is indeed a water ride. In fact, I've taken to calling it the new Splash Mountain. Now, I never know if it's too soon to make jokes about Splash Mountain, but I do it anyways, and I figure if it doesn't hit just the way I want it to, I can always distract you with new animals. Like, what's this on our left? Greater flamingos. These are greater flamingos. These flamingos are born a gray color, and to get that brilliant pink that we all know and love is actually due to the carotene that is in the shrimp that they eat. Where? Oh, there we go. All the way there in the back. We found one. We might get a better view as we keep moving forward. I'll point out for you, I won't be able to stop when we get up here, but you might get a better view, so be ready. Now it looks like we're heading on out of West Savannah into East Savannah. If we keep our eyes over here to our left, we might be able to get a better view of that elephant right back there. Like I said, unfortunately I can't stop for that elephant, but did get a pretty good view of it. Now, if we all look over to our left, we can see what I know we've all been waiting to see. There's a mud pit right down there in the middle. No, I'm just kidding. We can see some white rhinos. Now, white rhinos get their name due to a mistranslation of the Afrikaans word "weit," which means wide, when in reference to their lip. They have a wide lip, helps them grab vegetation off of the ground. They also weigh about 5,000 pounds, which actually makes them the largest rhinos that we have here on the reserve. Now, I was not kidding about that mud pit. That mud pit is very important, especially on hot days, especially during the summer. Some animals actually go up to that mud pit, roll around, helps to cool them off. We are all about keeping animals cool here on the reserve. I personally am not quite sure why. I thought they were all pretty cool when they got here. Now if you look over on our left, right at the top of this hill, we can actually see some cheetahs laying up there. No worries if you can't see them. We will get a better view in the second yard up here. But you can kind of see them right up there at the top. Cheetahs are the fastest land animal. They can run about 60 miles per hour for a short period of time. Actually, one of the very few cat-type animals that hunts during the day. Something that helps them hunt during the day is they have black teardrop shapes around their eyes to actually absorb sunlight so they can see. Now, these cheetahs don't communicate through a roar like one might think, but instead they communicate through a light chirping sound, mostly towards the end of the day, but you never really know when you might hear that chirping sound occur. The fastest a cheetah has ever been recorded going is 72 miles per hour, which is almost as fast as me, but not quite. I still hold the record in that category. As we keep moving forward, we're going to see a formation of rocks right up here in front of us. This formation of rocks is called a kopie. Hopefully we'll see quite a few cool animals as we move around this kopie today. We might even see some more of those white rhinos that we were just looking at a little bit ago. Looks like there's nothing too exciting happening around this side of the kopie. There might be something on this side of the kopie though. the other side of the copy. If we look over on our left, we're actually going to see just a little bit of a lion right up there, laying down. Now, an easy way to tell male and female lions apart is that the males have mane, the females do not. Another easy way to tell them apart is that the males sit with cubs while the females do all the hunting. Now, they tend to stay in their pack that we call a pride, hence we get Pride Rock from. And their roars can be heard from about 8 to 10 miles away, mostly at sunrise and sunset. So if you're around Animal Kingdom during sunset, you might just hear them roar. In fact, if it was completely silent all the way from here to Magic Kingdom, you'd actually be able to hear these lions roar in Magic Kingdom. Unfortunately, I'll never be that quiet, so we're barely going to be able to hear these lions roar in the parking lot of Animal Kingdom. But we will do our very best. If we look over on our right on the ground, we're going to see some ostrich eggs. Now, we didn't see any ostriches, but we can see some ostrich eggs. Ostrich eggs are quite sturdy. In fact, a grown man can stand on them and they will not break. They're also quite hefty. One ostrich egg weighs about the equivalent of 2 dozen chicken eggs, which is a lot when you consider that a flock of ostriches only has about 40 to 72 eggs at a time. I believe the largest recorded nest of these eggs at one time was 72. Now, it looks like we are heading on into the Magadi Glen here today. See our warden's post coming up. I like to double check, make sure that the warden is here, especially kind of here towards the endish of the day. Doesn't look like our warden is here, but I can see some Nigerian dwarf goats. Now, Nigerian dwarf goats are one of a farmer's favorites because they take up a little less space and need a little less food than regular livestock that a farmer might have. They also be kept as pets and milked. In fact, their milk is actually healthier than regular cow's milk. Look at that yellow looking structure down there in the middle. It's actually one of those beehives that I was telling you about from the Elephants and Bees project. Now, this does mark the end of our safari, unfortunately. Now, if you did not see an animal that you really wanted to see, I can always recommend going on the safaris again. No two are ever the exact same, unless you go on mine twice, then it'll be exactly the same. The safaris do close at 7 o'clock tonight, so you have about 2.5 hours to head on back over here, get on another safari. Now, if you still want to see some live animals, but you don't want to wait for another safari, don't you worry, I have a few recommendations for you. There is the Maharaja Jungle Trek and Gorilla Falls. Gorilla Falls, which is right towards the exit of the safari, has a few the same and a few different animals, and the Maharaja Jungle Trek, which is over in Asia, has completely different animals. Both of these do close at 6:30. Both these are walkthroughs. It takes about half an hour to walk through both of them. They're both stroller and wheelchair accessible as well. Now, if there are any wilderness explorers on my safari today, there should be someone towards the exit of the safaris or the entrance to the park that can help you out getting that badge. You've been on Simba 1. Simba 1, that is S-I-M-B-A 1, just like the lion from my personal favorite movie, The Princess and the Frog. Now, it looks like we were just waiting for one of these unload docks to open. If anything, we'll just head on up to that second one. There's no worries, you just get to spend a couple more minutes with me. Haven't heard any complaints to my face. Why, have you heard something? Looks like we are maybe heading up to that second one. Maybe not. Maybe we'll stay here. Who knows? Even I don't know what we're gonna do. Well, it looks like we're going to stay here. Now, here on the safaris, we don't say goodbye because goodbye is far too sad and far too final, so instead we say kwaherini. Now, kwaherini does mean go well, so go well and go wild, but don't go wild just yet because safety is our #1 concern, so please remain seated until we have fully stopped and the doors to our right have fully opened. That would be incredibly helpful. If you enjoyed this safari today, my name has been Joe from Colorado Springs, Colorado. If you have any questions, my window is quite literally always open. And last but definitely not least, please make sure to keep your hands, arms, legs, and feet inside the safari. The doors to our right should be opening. And kwaherini, go well and go wild.